Hey, what's going on everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech. So today we are going to be talking about Jesaki, Knights, and Pioneer. I'm really excited to bring this list to you. Before we get started, got a couple things we got to go over. So first thing is the deck list will be in the description below if you'd like to check out the list for yourself, maybe look at purchasing it. Pretty much like 90% of the cards that I show in the slides here are the cheapest version, which will make things a little bit easier for you if you're just trying to, obviously not break the bank on buying specific versions of cards. And the last thing is huge shout out to Wasteland Owl. He's the one that approached me with a Jeskai list and some different cards that we could run in the list overall. So huge shout out to him. He's a longtime viewer. Honestly, I deserve to make this deck for him because he's been there pretty much since day one for my channel. So huge shout out to you, and let's hop into the deck here. So we have our 1-drops. We have 4 Dauntless Bodyguard, 3 Fervent Champion, and 4 Venerable Knight. So Dauntless Bodyguard is a 2/1 for 1 Human Knight. As it enters the battlefield, choose another creature you control. Sacrifice Dauntless Bodyguard. The chosen creature gains indestructible until end of turn. So it's just a really great 2/1. It's a Savannah Lions that's in our in the Knights, obviously, and it's great late game. If we play it, it's great because it can protect like our lords. It can protect some of our other bigger creatures that we're going to talk about later on. It's just a great card in general. It's a 2/1, it's a 1-drop. That's why we're playing it. Then we have 3 Fervent Champion. So Fervent Champion is a 1/1 for 1 red Human Knight. First strike and haste. Whenever Fervent Champion attacks, another target attacking knight you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Equip abilities, you activate that target Fervent Champion, costs 3 less to activate. Spoiler alert, we're not playing any equipment in this deck. There was a couple that I considered playing, but really this is just a 1-drop that's good, and it makes our other knights a little stronger when they attack, which is great. Yep, that's why we're playing Fervent Champion. And 4 Venerable Knight. It's a 2/1 for 1 white Human Knight. When it dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target knight you control. So the thing is with this card is this is obviously probably arguably the weakest card in the deck. But Knights does not have another good 1-drop, unfortunately, in Pioneer yet. So obviously, I'm sure we're going to get another one that's really good soon. Kind of surprised we didn't get one from March of the Machines. From what I remember, I don't remember seeing a good 1-drop Knight. But it's a 2/1 for 1. That's a Knight. That's why we're pretty much playing it. So next we have a couple of our lords and then just a really good knight at the end there. We're playing 4 Inspiring Veterans. It's red-white for a 2/2. Other knights you control get +1/+1. That's it. It's a 2-mana lord. 2-mana lords kind of seem like the future for most of these like different tribal decks. It's obviously not as good as our next lord we're going to talk about, but it's still a lord nonetheless. Then we're playing 4 Marshal of Zhalfir. It's the new lord from March of the Machines. 2/2 for blue-white. Other knights you control get +1/+1. Then we can tap a blue and a white and tap it to tap another target creature. So obviously great, makes all of our other knights bigger, and also taps creatures down. We can tap down those pesky Shieldreds, those Cavaliers, really any problematic blocker. We can tap down attackers. We can just do so much with Marshal of Zhalfir, so I'm very happy that we're playing this card. It's a great lord in general at uncommon. And then we're playing 4 Worthy Knights. It's a 2/2 for 2, 1 in white, Human Knight. Whenever you cast a Knight spell, create a 1/1 white human creature token. So yes, the humans tokens that it does produce are not knights, but it's just that good. It's a 2/2 for 2 that gives us more dudes when we're already casting more dudes. It's just great in general. It's just a solid card in general. Turns makes our battlefield really wide, so it's just obviously a staple card to be playing in a deck like this. Next, we have some of our I don't want to say utility cards, but just like other bigger spells in the deck. We're playing 3 Adeline Resplendent Cathar. It's an X4 for 1 white legendary Human Knight with Vigilance. Its power is equal to the number of creatures you control. Great with Worthy Knight. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Sadly, it doesn't attack battles, which is kind of unfortunate, but I didn't even know this card was originally a knight, but then I happened to see it the other day because Mono White Humans plays this, and I was like, whoa, it's a knight? Obviously, we're going to play it in this list. Adeline's a great creature to play in a deck like this. The 1/1 white human worth noting It's whenever you attack. It's not Adeline. It's not when Adeline attacks. It's whenever you attack. So just a great card to be playing in general. It gets really, really big, gets out of hand. So probably when we play Dauntless Bodyguard after Adeline, this is most of the time what we're going to be naming. Then we're playing 3 Knight Errant of Eos, a new card from March of the Machine. It's a 4/4 for 4 and a white with Convoke, which means we can tap any number of creatures we control to help cast the spell. It costs 1 less for each creature that we tap. Kind of turns our creatures into Land Worlds in a way. When Knight Errant of Eos enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoked Knight Errant of Eos. Put the revealed cards into your hand, then shuffle. So obviously just a great card to be playing in general, helps us refill our hand. It's almost like the Goblin Ringleader, if you will, of Knights. So obviously with the mana value X or less, all of our creatures are, well, actually, the most expensive one, other than Knight Errant of Eos, is 3 mana. So if we convoke 3 creatures, we know that we're going to be able to put any of those creatures into our hand, as long as we hit them. So just a great card to be playing in general. It's very similar to Loxodon Hierarch, not Loxodon Hierarch. Man, I feel bad that I'm forgetting the name. Venerated Loxodon or something. It's the one that had Convoke, same cost, and then you could put 1/1 counters. But instead of 1/1 counters, we're refilling our hand, which is just a great effect to have. Then we're playing 4 History of Benalia, huge standard throwback. This card was amazing when it was in standard. I lost to this card a lot. It's white, 1 for a Enchantment Saga. First chapter and second chapter, we create a 2/2 Knight token with Vigilance. And then the third chapter, Knights you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. This card is just so good. I mean, it's just, we get 2 dudes, and they get giant on the third chapter. We're going to have other knights in play, likely when that goes off. So we're just going to attack our opponent for a ton of damage with History of Benalia. That's why we're playing 4 of these. So, our last non-creature is pretty simple. It's Brave the Elements. White, instant, choose a color. White creatures you control gain protection from the chosen color until end of turn, which means they can't be blocked, targeted, dealt damage, or enchanted by anything of that color. So, long story short, this card does so much. It's a protection spell, it's a late game board stall card. If we have enough power, we can just Brave the Elements, attack our opponent, assuming they're playing 1 color creatures, which most of the time they are. We just get in there and smack them for a bunch. So, Brave the Elements, absolutely incredible card. That's why we're playing 4 of it. It's just too good not to run. Our only non-white creature is Fervent Champion, which honestly is okay. That's fine. If that's the one creature that doesn't get protected from Brave the Elements, that's perfectly fine. So that's our main board. I feel like it was really fast. We had a lot of 4-ofs and stuff in this deck. So now we're going to hop into the sideboard. Well, not the sideboard, the lands, sorry. The lands, not the sideboard. So we're playing 4 Hallowed Fountain, 4 Sacred Foundry, those are just staple shock lands, and we're playing 4 Secluded Courtyard. Secluded Courtyard, kind of a new card from Kamigawa. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. We can tap it for a colorless, or tap it for 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type, or activate ability of a creature or creature card of the chosen type. So it's obviously really great. It's a strict upgrade from Unclaimed Territory for those who used to play that. Being able to use it for the activated abilities, I think it's just Mage of Zhalfir pretty much is the only ability we have for that, but obviously that's still relevant. It's untap, painless lands to cast our knights, which is exactly what we want. Then we're playing 3 Seachrome Coast and 3 Inspiring Vantage. They're both the fast lands that are in Pioneer. They do the same thing. They enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands, and then they make, obviously, mana. Then we're playing 2 Mutavaults. We can tap it for a colorless, or we can tap 1 and turn it into a 2/2 with all creature types until end of turn. So that means it's a knight, which is really great. Obviously, it gets all the effects from all of our lords and stuff like that, so just a great card to be playing in general. And rounding out our lands, we're playing 1 Aganjo, Seat of the Empire. It's the legendary land we can tap for a white, or we can channel it for 2 and a white and deal 4 damage to an attacking or blocking creature. We do run a few legends. I think it's mostly just Adeline. Yeah, so we're not really going to be getting the cost reducing from this too often, but still doesn't even matter. Still a good card. And then we're playing 2 Plains as well. This was the Plains art that I decided to play. Not for any particular reason for the most part. It was the one from the Knights versus Dragons duel deck. And I don't know, when I think of Knight art, I just kind of think of the, the nice the nice plains, luscious artwork. That's just what I think of. So that's our lands. Let's go to our sideboard finally. We're playing 3 Deafening Silence, 1 white enchantment. Each player can't cast more than 1 non-creature spell each turn. Obviously, this is basically it's a symmetrical effect, but not really for us. Our opponents that are like playing Lotus Combo or Mono Green, they're definitely going to hate this card, which is fine. Let them hate it. I think it's an amazing sideboard card to be playing in Pioneer. We're playing 2 Dovin's Veto, a blue and a white instant. This spell can't be countered. Counter target non-creature spell. Obviously, we have some blue in the deck, so that's why we're playing the Dovin's Vetoes. Just great to be able to counter our opponent's spells, just in general. And it can't be countered. So our blue-white opponent, we're not going to get into a counter war. Their whatever is not going to resolve, no matter what. Then we're playing 3 Fateful Absence, white and 1 instant. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Its controller investigates. Just a really good flexible removal spell. Hits creatures and planeswalkers, and that's exactly what we want to do, essentially. So, great card to have in the deck. And then we're playing 3 Rest in Peace. White and 1 for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile all cards from all graveyards. If a card or token would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile instead. Obviously great against all of the different graveyard decks. I mean, simply put, any deck that's doing graveyard shenanigans, we bring in the Rest in Peace. Then we're playing 2 Rip Apart. Red and white, sorcery. Choose 1. Rip Apart deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target artifact or enchantment. So this card's just awesome. I really like Rip Apart. When Rip Apart was first spoiled, I thought this card was going to be seeing play everywhere. Like, yeah, it's a sorcery Abrade, but it also hits enchantments and planeswalkers. Like, I think this card's going to be insane. And it sees, like, 0 play anywhere, but we definitely want an effect like this. It's extra removal that we need for our deck, hits creatures or planeswalkers, and also hits enchantments. So it's exactly what we want. I'm very happy that we can play this card in the list. Then, rounding out, we have 2 Settle the Wreckage. 2 white instant. Exile all attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search their library for that many basic lands and put them on the battlefield tapped. I've lost to this card a lot when it was in Standard, and I've lost to it in Modern as well. I probably lost to it in Pioneer, but I couldn't tell you that for certain. This card is just awesome to bring in against the other aggro decks. They most of the time they never even see it coming. Most experienced players at 4 mana will think to themselves, maybe it's something I gotta worry about, but not really for the most part. I mean, we have 4 mana untapped, and they're swinging, and we're gonna blow them out with this card. So that's why we're playing 2 Settle the Wreckage. Card is amazing. And well, that is the end of the deck tech for real. I'd like to thank everybody for watching me, watching this video. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you like the list? Do you hate the list? What decks do you want to see? Is there any particular, in any format? It can be Pioneer, Modern, Standard, Commander, or even Oathbreaker. Just let me know in the comment section below what you'd like to see next. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me. I'll catch you in the next video.